Hi, I'm Dr. Stephen Zemanek, and today's question comes from Stockton, Missouri. And she writes, is it wrong for Christians to use prescription medications for things like depression? This is a fantastic question, and it's one that I deal with often with followers of Christ because there is an unintended sense of guilt that seems to come along with using medications. The fact is, the Bible is full of examples of followers of God using medications. The most famous, of course, is 1 Timothy chapter 5, verse 23, where Paul tells Timothy to use medication to deal with his stomach issues. Now, the medication that Paul prescribed was wine. It was a common medication of that day. I have an example, of course, of Luke, who wrote the Gospel of Luke and the book of Acts, who was both a physician and a historian. He never ceased to be a physician simply because he became a follower of Jesus Christ. The issue is never the use of medications. The issue is always in the Bible the abuse or misuse of medications. For example, wine, a medication. It was to be used, but the same writer, Paul, who told Timothy to use it, also writes that we are not to abuse it and become drunk with it. When we use pharmaceuticals, we often find in the Bible this phrase in the Greek of pharmakia. We get the word sorcery from it. That's the idea of using these pharmaceuticals for their non-intended purpose. And we find that we use them to blur the lines of reality. That's an abuse of medication, not a use of it. What I always encourage followers of Jesus to do is to use the intelligence that God has given us. If your doctor's prescribed you medication and it's working, keep using it. If it doesn't work, go back to them. Find something that does. But all the time, continue to pray that God would provide a miraculous healing for you. He may heal you completely. He may leave you to deal with that issue as he left Paul to deal with the thorn in his flesh. It is for a good purpose that God allows us to go through these struggles in life. Don't use medication as a means of escape. Use it as a means of healing. Well, those are my thoughts. And remember, because of Jesus, life is good today.